An assassination attempt on Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu was thwarted at Troekurovsk Cemetery in Moscow. The information was disseminated by Russian media. Russian media claims that the attack was reportedly planned by Ukraine for November 12, the anniversary of Shoigu's mother's death. According to investigators, the perpetrators recruited a man and woman with drug addictions, as well as a Tajik migrant wanted in Russia for murder and weapons possession, to carry out the bombing. According to the information, the foreigner manufactured a homemade explosive device, and the couple delivered it to Troyekurovsk Cemetery on November 11, the day before the anniversary, and planted it next to the grave of Sergei Shoigu's mother, Alexandra Shoigu. A camera was also installed nearby to monitor the situation and activate the detonator when Shoigu visited the cemetery. It should be noted that on November 14, the Russian Federal Security Service released footage of the defusing of a homemade bomb and the arrest of suspects. Kommersant newspaper emphasized that 3 people were detained, 2 Russian citizens, previously convicted and drug addicts, and an illegal migrant from a Central Asian country. In addition, Kiev-based Jalaliddin Shamsov, who is wanted by Russian law enforcement for arms trafficking and murder, also participated in the murder plot. It was noted that during the investigation, security forces seized communications equipment. Correspondence between the detainees and a Ukrainian intelligence officer was found on a smartphone. The media has been speculating from the very beginning that the assassination attempt was planned on Shoigu. However, Kommersant sources close to the Security Council Secretary have not previously confirmed this information. The Ukrainian Defense Forces continue their defensive operation, conducting search and strike operations, in particular in the Pokrovsk direction and in the Zaporizhia region. This was stated in a statement by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. It is emphasized that over the past 24 hours in the Pokrovsky direction, a search and destruction of the enemy was carried out on the territory of 26.6 square kilometers of the Pokrovsky district of the Donetsk region. Meanwhile, defenders in southern Ukraine are attacking the occupiers' deployment sites, firing positions, and rear areas in the Zaporizhia region. The fiercest fighting continues precisely in the Pokrovsk direction, where Ukrainian defenders halted 75 assault and offensive actions by the aggressor in the areas of Volodymyrivka, Belitskoho, Novoshakov, Nikhanarivka, Chervony Lyman, Myrnograd, Rodinsk, Novoekonomikn, Pokrovsk, Sukhoi Yar, Kotline, Yudakny, Shakov, Molodetsk, Novomykolivka, Dakhny, Filia, as well as in the directions of Novopodorodny, Kryshine, Kucherov Yar and Viln. Denis Huss, platoon commander of the Shershny Bucha drone battalion of the 68th Separate Jaeger Brigade, said that Russian forces, with hundreds of troops in southern Pokrovsk, are still attempting to flank the city. Fighting continues southwest of Pokrovsk, near Dakhny and Kotline, and to the northeast, around Rodinsk and Chervony Lyman. In Pokrovsk, the situation is constantly changing, literally every hour. The Russian army is trying to entrench themselves in multi-story buildings, primarily in the southern part of the city. We are disrupting these enemy plans with all our might, but weather conditions are making their adjustments. There are pros and cons for both us and the invaders. Fogs greatly assist Russian soldiers because then we don't have the opportunity to fully conduct aerial reconnaissance and have to detect them by ear when they approach closer, the serviceman commented. According to him, for Ukrainian units, such weather conditions allow for calmer rotations, and the delivery of ammunition and food. The number of enemy forces in the city is in the hundreds. I don't have access to exact figures. Furthermore, the Russian army is still trying to bypass Pokrovsk from the flanks. From the southwest, battles are ongoing from the direction of Dakhny and Kotline, along the railway that stretches to the city from that direction, and heavy battles continue from the northeast, from the direction of Rodinsk and Chervony Lyman. The Russian troops are advancing within the city itself, not resorting to classic clearing tactics, such as block by block. They continue to move from cover to cover, accumulating at certain points where we engage them, noted Dennis Huss. Romanian authorities on Monday ordered the evacuation of 2 Danube villages after a cargo ship loaded with liquefied petroleum gas on the Ukrainian side was engulfed in flames following Russian drone attacks on its port infrastructure. According to Associated Press, those evacuated from Plory and Sitalkioi in Tulsia County, situated opposite Ukraine's port of Izmail, will be temporarily relocated to facilities provided by the local administration, emergency authorities said. Romania's defense ministry said in a separate statement that emergency authorities issued text alerts to residents in northern Tulsia County following overnight Russian attacks on Ukraine near the border. A drone struck a Turkish-flagged tanker and set it ablaze on Monday in southern Ukraine's Odessa region, officials said, a day after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky signed a deal to import U.S. liquefied natural gas through the area. The MT Orinda was hit during the offloading of liquefied petroleum gas at Izmail port, Turkey's Directorate for Maritime Affairs said. All 16 crew on board evacuated and no one was hurt, it said. Russia has used drones, missiles and artillery to repeatedly batter the Odessa region, especially its Black Sea ports, since its full-scale invasion of its neighbor nearly 4 years ago. There was no immediate Russia comment Monday. Ukrainian officials didn't comment specifically on the tanker, although Regional Military Administration head Ola Kuiper said Russian drones attacked the Odessa region overnight and damaged energy and port infrastructure in several cities. The attack sparked multiple fires and damaged an unspecified number of civilian vessels, Kuiper said, adding that 1 person was injured.
Momentan este închis drumul până se va decide că se poate circula. Momentan faceți dreapta și folosiți rutele.
Este pericol de explozie.
De aici. Niciodată nu o să. Eu?
De ce?
Cum să plec eu? Ce fac cu animalele? Porcul, cățelul, câinele, ce fac? Cum să plec? Mă plec pentru că arde o navă acolo? Să găsească alte soluții.
I-am convins, am purtat discuții, am urcat în mașină și i-am adus pe aici. Acum așteptăm să vină mașina cu masă caldă, le dăm o masă caldă deocamdată și vedem ce vom face. S-a decis restricționarea accesului în zona Plaur. Ce am înțeles eu că trebuie o distanță minimă de vreo 5 km dacă